My name is Gal, and I'm Jewish.
Gal Gadot finally talks about Rachel Zegler's poor attitude toward the live-action Snow White, and her words confirm just how grim things became. From early rehearsals to the final premiere, Rachel used every chance to turn the spotlight onto herself.
The winged victory came to the Louvre in pieces, and people still line up to see her. That at every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
She also tried to push Gal aside, as if Gal's experience and status threatened her. This created a tense environment that overshadowed the entire production, making it harder for people to work together in peace. According to direct accounts, Rachel's behavior started small. She made subtle, cutting remarks about Gal's role, but soon escalated into more obvious hostility.
I never want it to come off as me being ungrateful for the opportunities I have. I can also be having the greatest time and simultaneously wishing people would stop sending me death threats.
Rachel's big Instagram post on March 21st, 2025 set the tone for the feud. That was the day she celebrated the completion of Snow White with a long personal message. She thanked the crew, expressed love for some cast members, and showed behind-the-scenes photos of fun on the set. But there was no mention of Gal Gadot at all, even though Gal's role as the evil queen was crucial to the movie's success. Since Gal is a worldwide star, viewers saw this omission as intentional, not an oversight. Many recognized that Rachel was aiming to downplay Gal's importance, as if removing her from public recognition would make Rachel look more significant. Gal, upon hearing about the post, stayed composed and did not respond right away, but she kept track of this slight. Soon after, Rachel started bringing politics into what was supposed to be a fairy tale project. Gal, proud of her Israeli background, has always been open about her military service and her national identity. Rachel took the opposite stance, frequently bringing up pro-Palestinian views. People on set confirmed that Rachel raised these political points at every opportunity, almost like she wanted to pick fights. She made pointed comments and tried to force disagreements during breaks, refusing to stay neutral for the sake of a smooth workday. This constant tension spread to others, who had to tiptoe around the two leads whenever delicate issues came up. Gal tried to stay calm and polite, but Rachel insisted on making each conversation about her own beliefs, overshadowing their actual jobs. What truly baffled people was how Rachel's and Gal's lifestyles seemed so different. Gal is 39, married, and a mother of 4, used to juggling major Hollywood responsibilities with real-world family needs. Rachel, 23, is new to the spotlight and single, eager to prove herself as the next big star. Instead of learning from Gal's experience, she saw Gal as an enemy to be removed. She made sarcastic remarks about Gal's home life, implying it was outdated or dull. Gal, ever professional, did not snap back. She continued focusing on her scenes, determined to deliver the best performance possible as the evil queen. Yet Rachel's bitterness only grew, fueled by a sense that Gal was more grounded and mature. By the time filming ended, everyone sensed a storm brewing. When promotional events began, Rachel made sure to do interviews that highlighted her personal take on Snow White's character. She shifted away from praising the original fairy tale or acknowledging Gal's contributions as the villain. Instead, she talked about how excited she was to reshape Snow White's background story, turning the well-known princess into a figure who survived a fierce storm instead of being known for her pale skin. Rachel insisted this change was her idea, though official notes show it was the studio's broader plan to modernize the tale. Rachel wanted sole credit, positioning herself as the champion of a new generation. She never hinted that Gal's evil queen also brought depth and fresh energy to an old role. The tension spilled into public view at the Los Angeles premiere in mid-March 2025. Cameras clicked as Rachel and Gal stepped onto the red carpet. Observers saw Rachel forcing a stiff grin when near Gal, but the instant the cameras looked away, Rachel gave Gal dismissive glances and made curt, whispered remarks. There were even moments when Rachel seemed to nudge Gal out of the frame, standing in front of her for pictures. Some team members who stood nearby verified that Rachel showed no respect for Gal's space. She acted as if only one star could shine that night, and it had to be Rachel. Disney, hoping to avert a scandal, tried to manage the chaos by limiting joint interviews. They reduced big press events, worried about Rachel's confrontational streak overshadowing the new adaptation of Snow White. People on the production team reported that Disney higher-ups became concerned that Rachel would escalate her attacks on Gal, or keep bringing divisive political commentary to public appearances. The studio wanted a family-friendly premiere, not a battlefield for personal arguments. Yet the negative energy was hard to hide. Rachel's meltdown could not be contained behind closed doors, and many staffers felt powerless to stop her from stirring the pot. Rachel also spent much of her interview time discussing how she supposedly improved the story. She told everyone that changing Snow White's name meaning made the film deeper and more relevant, and she acted like it was her personal victory over old traditions. While modern updates can be positive, Rachel's tone sounded arrogant. She spoke as though she alone transformed a classic fairy tale for modern times, never giving credit to the film's directors, writers, or her co-star. Gal, by contrast, did not claim to be the heart of the movie. She gave thoughtful responses about discovering the evil queen's motivations and learning how envy can turn a person cold. She said the best villains are those with complex fears. People appreciated her balanced approach, noting that Gal praised the entire creative team, not just herself. As time passed, Rachel's conduct caused more trouble behind the scenes. Documentation revealed that she frequently refused to share press schedules with Gal, making it tough for Disney to plan joint appearances. She also complained if journalists asked questions about Gal's portrayal, as if that was stealing attention from Rachel's version of Snow White. At one point, she demanded certain scenes be re-edited to minimize the evil queen's dramatic impact, worried that people would find Gal's performance more interesting. This request shocked the post-production crew, who felt it was unethical to meddle with another actor's work. The producers denied Rachel's demand, explaining that the film had to stay true to the original balance between Snow White and her main antagonist. Rachel's meltdown peaked when she tried to frame herself as a victim of unfair criticism. She posted long messages online accusing unnamed enemies of trying to sabotage her. Many recognized these statements as thinly veiled references to Gal, but Rachel never provided actual evidence, nor did she address her own instigations, like the Instagram snub, her abrupt political rants, or her repeated attempts to shift all attention to herself. She seemed determined to blame everyone else, not pausing to see how her choices created the problems she complained about. In stark contrast, Gal carried on with poise, rarely commenting on Rachel's claims. She attended interviews, talked about the movie, and politely praised the new elements of the story. She never launched personal attacks or tried to remove focus from Rachel. She spoke briefly about the political tensions, saying she hoped people could watch the movie without bringing worldly conflicts onto the set. That statement alone highlighted the main issue: Rachel's refusal to separate personal activism from daily filming. Gal's calm stance won her respect. People saw that she was not trying to wage a public battle. She merely wanted to do her job and let the finished product speak for itself. Disney's decision to keep promotional events small did little to stop the bad press that followed. People wrote articles about the alleged feud, overshadowing the film's intended message. Any talk of fresh representation or updated storylines got buried under accounts of Rachel's backstage behavior. Some journalists tried to ask Rachel about her rumored hostility, but she usually deflected, implying that Gal had a problem with her or that the two were simply different. Meanwhile, private records confirmed that it was Rachel stirring most of the tension. Team members who witnessed her remarks described them as demeaning and territorial, aimed at making Gal feel unwelcome. When Snow White finally opened, audiences discovered a decent adaptation weighed down by real-world drama. Rachel's portrayal was competent, but critics remarked that her off-screen persona colored how they viewed her performance. In contrast, Gal's evil queen earned praise for depth and complexity. She was praised for bringing a regal but troubled aura to a character once seen as just wicked. Many watchers concluded that Gal gave the more memorable performance, which clearly irritated Rachel even more. She responded with more public statements, claiming that critics favored Gal's role because of established star power rather than genuine talent. Yet interviews from the creative team show that Gal worked hard to fully understand her character's dark side. As news of Rachel's meltdown spread, possible brand deals vanished. Companies avoid tying themselves to stars who spark trouble with coworkers. Documents confirm that at least 2 partnerships set up for her were canceled. Meanwhile, Gal continued receiving new offers. Her calm approach under pressure left a good impression. Rachel's downfall appeared to be a direct result of her own behavior. Instead of building alliances, she treated a respected A-list actress as a threat and tried to overshadow her at every turn. At last, Gal decided to address the situation after the film's run. She gave a frank interview explaining how she had been patient on set, hoping Rachel would dial back her aggression. She said that she encouraged an open dialogue about creative ideas, but Rachel focused on personal differences. Gal's words shed light on how Rachel twisted normal disagreements into full-blown arguments, creating constant friction. Gal revealed that the main reason she had stayed quiet was to protect the production from even more controversy. Now that the movie's promotion was over, she wanted to set the record straight without further damaging the brand. Rachel attempted to respond yet again, this time posting a long video where she cried about feeling misunderstood. However, her tears did not align with the harsh actions many people had observed firsthand. She failed to admit her role in the meltdown, and she did not apologize for attacking Gal's character. Instead, she repeated how she felt overshadowed by Gal's fame, as though that alone justified her behavior. That choice to cling to self-pity rather than humility drew more criticism. Industry experts concluded that Rachel's meltdown was a cautionary tale. Hollywood runs on cooperation, especially in large franchises tied to well-known brands like Disney. If an actor picks personal battles with major co-stars, it usually leads to professional trouble. People want to hire team players, not divisive figures who cause stress. Rachel found this out the hard way. Her negative reputation spread fast. Future directors wondered if she would undermine their projects. Casting agents thought twice before recommending her. All that lost goodwill came from her own decisions. Gal, on the other hand, survived the storm with minimal damage to her standing. She was admired for handling conflict maturely. Even while setting the record straight, she did not insult Rachel. Instead, she calmly described what happened, letting the facts speak for themselves. That respectful manner gained her more fans, who appreciated that she did not try to tear Rachel down for revenge. Gal believed that sticking to the truth was enough. She did not need to stoop to insults or personal attacks.